Perfect.
All right. Welcome back to the Excuse Me Brother podcast show.
I don't even know why you're saying welcome back. They never left. They've been here this whole time.
Oh yeah, y'all been with us the whole time. We actually missed a milestone, brother. I don't know if you noticed.
Probably not.
Of course not. We made our year.
Our fake year.
Our fake year.
We technically reached the year, but we did skip a few months. So our fake year.
We can do it like that if we want, if it means that much to you.
I don't count as a year till we reach 52 episodes, because there's 52 weeks in a year.
Episodes? So we gotta do 20-something more episodes before we reach 52?
We got 27 more. Not counting this one, 26 more.
So we gotta do 26 more episodes? Alright, cool.
And who knows how much the format is going to change by then again.
We might have to push out 2 episodes a week.
I'm not doing that.
Come on, fine.
I'm not doing that.
Fine, alright, fine.
You know damn well I'm not doing that. I got a whole other channel to run. I'm not doing that.
You suck.
You suck. What?
We got a guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
Oh, we'll welcome to the show, Jeremy,
our producer,
Brother Jerm.
Thank you,
Welcome
thank
to the show,
you. Also,
just
to let you know, if you ever start doing 2 episodes, I think I might have to resign. That's a lot of work.
I'm telling you, bro. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot for anything.
Either that or you gotta start paying me.
Oh, wow.
I'm just
all right,
being
fine.
honest.
Have your people call. Listen, have your people call our peoples, and we'll work something out.
We have people.
Yeah. I was
When do
gonna
we
say, you
get
got
this?
people? I thought I was your people.
Yeah.
Listen. You need an agent. We have our lawyers.
We have lawyers. Yo, I'm learning something new every day.
Listen, each one teach one, so we can all reach one.
What?
What?
Each one teach one, so we can all reach one.
Reach one. I'm good with the reach one. I'm good with the first part. The first 2 parts, the reach one kind of sounds weird.
I was gonna say that it sounded like you said reach twice.
It's like he says teach one. What? It's repeating.
Listen, each one teach one, so that way we can all reach one.
What are we reaching for?
We outreaching the people. That's all. Trying to bring up everybody one by one.
Some people are. Some other people like to take up the ladder.
You're right. But that's why it's important for us to teach each other.
Oh, you said teach.
Yeah, he says each one teach one, reach one.
I don't know.
Each
Maybe
one
it's your
teach
microphone.
one, so
Maybe you gotta speak a little clearer.
It's his
Each
voice.
one teach one, so we can all reach one.
All right, we got it. We got it. It don't. You did sound a lot more clear in my ear.
Shut up. Jeremy, welcome to the show, man. It's nice to finally have you on.
Yeah, it's nice to be on. You know, I used to be a listener, and I still am. Even though I edit the episodes, I try not to listen to too much, so that way I can still listen.
Personally, you don't listen to it anymore once you edit it. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Well, no, because I would have to listen to the whole thing. I usually just listen to the beginning and then the end, and then that's it.
That's how I edit too.
Well, I mean, I do it like I said because I actually want to listen to the episode. It's not like I'm gonna stop listening. I still listen to you guys when you release on Saturday because that's like my weekend listening. I go to work and it's chill. That's why I used to get upset when you guys missed a week.
Oh damn! All bad.
You can put. We'll pick the flame 50-50. I'm busy. I'm normally busy every weekend, except this weekend. I'm actually not doing anything this weekend. I know.
Oh, look at you.
I know.
Must be nice.
Well, okay, so let's do
Shut the fuck up.
let's do a quick background story. I've known Jeremy for how long has it been now? Like 15 years?
Shit. Has it been that long?
Yeah. How old?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, we met in 2007.
Yeah, freshman year of high school.
Right.
Old.
That was 15 years
Oh
ago.
fuck.
Old people.
Yeah. You're
Yeah, I've
you're
known this
honestly
friend-
the longest like friend I've ever had. Like I don't know anybody outside of family that has been around me for as long as you have.
I feel
Oh.
special.
I will say that's really cute.
It is cute.
Come on, man.
It makes
don't
me all
gay it up.
mushy.
Don't gay it up.
Don't do what?
Gaying it up. Come on, y'all.
I'm gaying it up because it's cute. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's nice to have friendships that last 15 years or more. As someone who has a lot of them, it's nice.
What, a lot of friendships that last 15 years?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about those. It's okay.
Yeah. It's all right. So yeah, when I met Jeremy, I didn't know I would be friends with him this long, but I'm happy that he is my friend. Been through a lot
Oh,
together.
I'm happy that you're my friend as well.
See,
Wow.
that's how you see that. You see that's how you communicate your friendship for each other, Tayshawn, not by insults and threats.
I don't insult Jeremy, to let you know. I only,
Talking about me, ignoramus.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but at a certain point, you deserve it.
No, I don't.
It's a different dynamic, although we do cut ass on each other a lot.
Mm,
It's mostly in the group chat.
A lot. All right.
mostly at Jay's expense, honestly.
Well,
It's
let's be
all
honest.
your expense.
It's your fault.
Oh, it's all your fault, really.
Um,
You're just disrespectful. You're just disrespectful. Like, and there's no need for that. But that's who you are. So I
I
said,
kind of feel like there's a need for it. You be
nah,
wildin'. You be wildin' sometimes.
listen, I am a mellow man. I chill. I keep to myself. I do my job. I go home.
I'm the same way.
I don't be outside like that. Like,
No, this is funny. No, you're right. You don't be outside like that.
I really don't. I don't like outside right now.
That's understandable.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. So wait, how did let's continue with the background, right?
So-
How did you two meet?
I
we met through
Jeremy.
you, actually.
You.
Yeah, man. Let's bring
Okay.
people together.
So, when I started working at Target, when I met Jason, who hated me at first meeting, after a while, after working at Target for I think a year or two, I think Jeremy had moved back to New York City
Yes.
because he wasn't living in New York City at the time. He had moved back, and then he got a job at the same Target with us.
Yes.
By way of
I don't fucking know. You just told me he was working here. I didn't know how he got the job.
I mean,
Jeremy, tell him how you got that job at Target.
I assume you put in a good word for me.
That I did.
Okay.
What?
Because I honestly,
You know-
I think I got hired for a different job than I actually applied for. Initially,
Yeah,
I applied for what is it called? The Pizza Hut and Starbucks. Like what?
Oh, really?
Food ad.
Oh,
Food ad.
You applied for food ads and ended up in market.
Yep.
Damn.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, because when you started, me and you all three of us had moved to the market department, which was starting its own like little thing, its own little Target, I guess. Because me and Jay were supposed to be the back room of market only.
Yeah. You guys had moved over right as I got in.
I think you were there for a little bit before I came through, because Tayshawn was in market before me,
Right.
and then I came in like maybe a few months before I left, like maybe 3 or 4 months before I left.
Yeah.
But you guys were already there and already doing the thing. Because I think if I remember correctly, they were trying to like put a heavy emphasis on market and P-Fresh. I think they were trying to really drive the sales through there.
Yeah, I think because
that's when-
they realized, and this is what I was told, that at the time, Target was the only. I don't want to say it was like a supermarket, but people treated it like a supermarket because it was close enough to a lot of different areas that they just come there to do food shopping. So that's why they put more emphasis on Market and P Fresh, because like you said, that's where the sales were going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually
Honestly, yeah.
Because I'm looking at the area. I'm looking at the area that the store is in, and there's really no supermarkets within like a.
No, there were.
I would say
There
like
were,
there's
there,
some.
no. No, truthfully, there were not, because as someone, because some of my, as Jay would know, some of my friends actually came to Target to pick me up from work a couple of times.
Right.
So we would drive around the area from time to time. There weren't really any other stores up except for that square that we had. Like I didn't like honestly, there weren't many bodegas no delis near there.
Yeah.
Like you would have to cross a bridge to go to another neighborhood if you did want to shop at Target.
Oh,
so it was easier. Yeah, it was much easier just to go to Target.
Yeah, and I also think the market is what drove people in, but then because there's other stuff there, it makes it more appealing to go there instead.
Yeah. That's one of those weird things.
They know what they're doing.
Honestly.
When I first started working over there, right? And Target was the only store there besides Home Depot down the block.
Yeah.
Yo. Lunchtime was just...
Lunch was a struggle.
It was a
shit! I didn't even think about that. There was nothing there.
No, there was nothing.
Yo.
And that back then they didn't have. Well, maybe they did. Like Grubhub and Uber Eats and all that shit.
No, it didn't exist yet.
No, because I think Jay was working at that Target for like before I got there. I think he said he worked there for 3 years.
Did
right?
you open that store?
Yes,
he opened that store.
I did. I did. That's what I'm saying. Like before we opened, there was still Target was the only store in that lot.
Yeah,
bro, I had to walk past St. Raymond's all the way to Tremont just to go get food because I got sick of going to Home Depot because they had a truck outside of Home Depot that's
oh shit,
they had a food truck. I went to that food truck a few times. It was good.
I got tired of going there, so I was like, a couple times I did go across the bridge back to Queens, and
for real,
yeah, bro. Yo, it was a struggle back in those days, man.
I can't imagine that.
So when they started opening up all those other stores, the Applebee's wasn't open yet. So when they did open the Applebee's, we all used to go there. But
man, I bet they hated you guys.
No,
they probably would appreciate the business.
Yeah, they did. They appreciated the business. Because sometimes we were the only ones in there giving them business. Yeah. Nobody knew that it was open yet.
I'm gonna be honest. Every time I've gone there, it's been empty.
Well, I don't really like Applebee's like that anymore. It's trash.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Applebee's is trash.
It's okay. You don't think the last time I went to Applebee's, I caught COVID.
Good job.
Wow.
How does that happen?
It was around Christmas. I went to Applebee's with two of my best bros, and I caught COVID that day.
I mean, you don't know if it was from there. If you got it day.
No, I got it that day because that's like maybe I didn't get it that day, but like on that day it was when I felt the symptoms. Like I got a headache. I started having a fever, and that was the night I had like the fever dream. That I felt like I was in like several parts of the world and I knew 4 different languages for some strange reason.
That's a superpower.
Yeah, it was wild, but it was it was on Christmas too, so it was like literally I was like around my family, and then like as we were opening present that night, like around 6 o'clock, I just started to feel like I had a fever. But at that time, I was already like we were in Applebee's.
You were in Applebee's.
Nice.
Applebee's. Oh, like I said, the last time I've been to Applebee's was like the last time I had COVID.
Well,
okay.
I mentioned you having superpowers in those dreams, right? In that dream, that fever dream, where you were able to speak 4 languages.
That dream was a lot. There was a lot happening. Like one of my other like body was like a spy and some shit. It was a lot happening.
Oh, so you were shapeshifting. Nice.
I don't
You have
know.
powers, bro.
Have you ever?
Powers.
No, there's. Do you know like that show? I don't know the name of the show, but it's like a show where like 10 people like share like something. Like anytime something happens to this person, the other 9 feel it. It's a little weird. It's something on Netflix.
I feel like I've heard something about that. That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, I definitely like. I don't remember the name, and I know people who watch the show. I wish I can explain it better, but like apparently, like if something happens, like they're all in separate, different countries.
Yeah.
Some of them are in different countries. Some of them are like know each other.
I think saw like one episode of it. I can't remember the name.
I think 2 of them become a gay couple together. I don't know. There was a lot happening in that show. I never really watched it. Like a friend told me, my friend Natalie told me about it.
Was it a virtual reality game or something like that?
No,
it was an actual TV show.
It was like a supernatural type thing. Like
yeah, it was a show. I think it was like on Netflix or something. But like, it was an actual show.
I know it's a show, but I'm saying like, were they playing a game?
No, it was like real life.
Oh, okay.
Like their brains were connected. Like their brains and their minds were connected.
Oh, so they had a hive mind. Okay.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Speaking of hive minds, right? Because Venom has a hive mind, right?
Technically.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That wasn't strong, but I'll allow it.
That wasn't strong, but you'll allow it. Man, listen. Stop it. All right? What we getting into tonight?
So, a little while ago, we had a little debate in our group chat about what was... I guess it wasn't about pre-Marvel or MCU movies, but it ended up there. We started talking about the Marvel movies before Iron Man and all that stuff, and I came up with the idea to have a little tournament to see which one of those pre-MCU movies is the best.
Which one reigns supreme?
Because if you ask certain people, they might say one thing, and I might say it's another.
And I won't say anything.
No, you're gonna say it.
Well, we have 3, so even if you you're not sure, you could be the tiebreaker.
No, we'll go for it. Let's do it.
All right, so
break down this bracket for us.
So I seeded it. I have 16 movies, and I seeded it the way I'm assuming the way they do it. Like you put the best performing one against the worst performing one, right?
Yes.
That's normally how it goes. Yeah.
So I took the ratings for each movie and seeded it that way. So here are the brackets. It is going to be Spider-Man 2 versus Elektra, Spider-Man 3 versus the Hulk, Spider-Man, the first one, versus Daredevil, Blade versus Blade Trinity, X2 X-Men United, which is the second movie, versus Fantastic Four, X-Men The Last Stand versus The Punisher, X-Men versus Ghost Rider, and Blade versus Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Bing, 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 bing.
All right, cool.
All right,
so these are just how they sold. Like,
this is how they performed. Like I used Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. I thought you did like how they did box office wise.
I mean, I could have done it that way, but I feel like box office is not a good.
It's purely money.
Yeah, it's just money. Like it's not an indication of quality. It's just a lot of people went to see it.
Right.
But I used the Rotten Tomatoes both, and I averaged the critic score and the user score, so that way if it's like fair.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these scored really low.
They're pre-MCU, bro.
Right. Like some of them, I mean, I'll just say it, Elektra, because it's going up against Spider-Man 2, scored like I want to say like 33%.
Yeah, that movie was trash,
It,
bro. It was hot garbage. And
Well,
I'm actually
anyway.
very offended by that movie.
well, let's
You're
just get right into
offended
it
by
then.
that movie?
Okay. Huh?
You're offended by that movie?
The movie was terrible. Okay?
It was
I'm
supposed to be a
offended by it.
spin-off of Daredevil.
Right, the original Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck.
Hmm.
Because y'all remember, I will take. Wait, Tay, you saw the original Daredevil movie, right?
Yes. Yes, I did.
You do you remember what happened?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, gets put to death. She's revived. And you know what pissed me off about that movie? One of the reasons why I didn't like it was that they had Stick in that movie, but not Daredevil.
Really?
Yes, he brought her back to life. He was the one who revived
well,
her. And,
I guess isn't
Okay.
that the story in the comics?
huh?
I assume that's the story in the comics. I've never.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe she was revived by Stick in the comics, but
She was
remember-
revived. Well, see, that's the thing. I'd never read Daredevil or Electro comics, so I don't know exactly what happened. But I'm basing it off of the show because they did a similar thing.
right,
But she was revived by the Hand.
right. Now the Hand is in the Elektra movie. They're the ones
Oh.
who send the assassin, right?
Ah,
And she has to protect this dude who she basically has to protect somebody from the Hand, and Stick revived her. But what I just didn't like how they had Stick in that movie but didn't have him
but
in
not
Daredevil.
Daredevil because doesn't he help Daredevil more?
Exactly. He trained Daredevil because they're both blind.
Right.
So how you gonna have him in Elektra but not Daredevil? That was one thing that pissed me off. And then just the overall quality of the movie was trash. Jennifer Garner herself was good, but the movie itself was trash. So we already know Spider-Man 2's taking that one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, we could start it now. So, I would say Spider-Man 2 as well.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2. Now, why do we like Spider-Man 2? A lot of people think that Spider-Man 2 was the best Spider-Man movie in that trilogy, or the best Spider-Man movie, period. But, so why is that? I mean, I think we touched on it in the group chat, but I don't think we actually ever. Really
I mean, all right. So, we went into it about Spider-Man 2, and I agree that it is one of the better pre-MCU movies, but I had a lot of issues with it.
Okay.
And mostly, I forgot what I said, honestly. It was mostly the fact that when Spider-Man was losing his powers, they made it seem more about his lack of focus rather than the fact that it was a lot of pressure being Spider-Man, which, I mean, they kind of sort of hinted at that, but it was mostly the fact that he wasn't focusing enough and that he was getting too distracted. And granted, that plays more into the fact that his web comes out of his body as opposed to him having web shooters. So it was more of like the choice. He wasn't making the choice. It was kind of being forced upon him that he was like, oh, maybe I should stop. You know? Whereas I feel like in the comics, at least that storyline, it was more of a choice that he made because of all the pressure he was dealing with.
Mm-hmm. I remember Isaiah said something of the same sort, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't remember a single thing.
Of course, you absent ass nigga.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I feel like Spider-Man 2 was the best movie in that trilogy, at least, because I just feel like the drama kind of made it made a lot of sense. You know, I hear what you were saying about the difference between that storyline and the actual comic storyline, but I'm like, you know what? If it he did make the conscious choice of, you know what, I'm gonna give up being Spider-Man because it's too much for me.
I'm gonna interrupt both of you real quick.
Okay.
Because the sheer fact they were already moved it on, I feel like this is more of a discussion for the round two.
You're right.
Okay. Let's keep it going.
Okay, so we got Spider-Man 3 versus 2003's Hulk.
Ooh.
Now,
Ooh.
I've seen Hulk like once when I was a child. I don't remember much of it.
I saw both of those on theater.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So did I.
Actually. How old were you when Hulk came out?
I was, at that time, I was either 8 or 9.
It came out in 2003, so...
I was either 8 or 9. I'm not too sure what time, because it might have came out early 2003 when I was still 8, or it could have came out like late 2003 when I was 9. But I saw that in theaters with my family.
You know what?
I believe I was 9. So my memory says I was 9.
It came out June 17th, 2003.
I was 9.
I saw that on DVD.
Yeah, I saw it on, I think, Stars at HBO.
My mom had the bootleg version of that movie. She did have it on bootleg DVD.
So
Hulk is actually interesting because, like, if you watched the MCU Hulk movie, they kind of sort of treat that movie as like the origin story. Because if you watch it in the beginning sequence, everything that happened in that 2003 movie was in that opening sequence. Granted, it wasn't what was his name? The guy who played Hulk?
Oh, movie. The 2003 one or 2008 one?
2003.
Eric Bana.
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was Edward Norton, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they just swapped him out, but pretty much everything that happened in that movie was in that opening sequence in the 2008 movie. So it's like, it's kind of canon, kind of not.
Yeah, you're actually right. The 2003 movie was definitely more drawn out. I think they were trying to do something with it, like trying to make more movies out of it, but it was also darker than the 2008 one.
I don't remember a lot of the Hulk movie. I do remember a lot of dark scenes in it. Like, even just some things, like I remember him just being tied up, his actual father being part of that movie. It was a lot happening in that movie for me.
Right. And he fought, who did he fight in that movie? Was it it wasn't the Abomination. That was the 2008 movie.
I don't think, to tell you the truth, I don't really remember there being an actual villain.
Yeah, I don't remember one either.
Yeah, I don't think, I think he was just like, most of that movie was him, like, was the actor Bruce Banner at that time just kind of dealing with the Hulk itself. Because I honestly don't remember there being a villain in that movie. He did fight his father, but his father wasn't. Hold on, his father wasn't really a Hulk. Then I think he was David Banner. It was his father, but I don't know if we can really call, like, if anything, it was more of a psychological film then.
Right. That's why I felt like it was a lot darker than the 2008 one. 2008 one was more like, it was lighter toned, but it was still an action.
But he did fight. He did fight his father. His father was like one of the main things in that.
Right.
I think he does turn. I think he turned into something towards the end. I think it was Absorbing Man.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yes. And then, he winds up, I think, going into the rainforest, and I think they're looking for him or something. I think he's presumed dead or something like that.
They presume him dead, but he's like hanging out in a village.
Right.
He's a doctor. He's a doctor for a village, which is how the 2008 one starts out, with him being in that village, being a doctor.
Pretty much.
They did their best to try to canon that movie, but it was just a lot happening.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't bother trying to like retread old territory, because it's just like, it's the Hulk, people want to see.
You just want to see him spin shit.
I want to see big green ass kicking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough of that, which turns us over to Spider-Man 3.
Which what do you want to say about Spider-Man 3?
I mean, Spider-Man 3. I believe it or not, I actually liked that movie.
I honestly, I did too. It's like a guilty pleasure.
Right.
I found it entertaining. I found it very entertaining among the Spider-Man
Hella
movies.
entertaining. You know what I mean?
Being that I was a kid at the time, it felt like I understood most of it, and part of my brain's like, this is really ridiculous.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's what it was. Is that when
It
you
was
saw
really ridiculous, but at least technically, compared to the Hulk, it can say that it had a more thought out plot line. Technically,
Well,
it wasn't.
there was the problem with Spider-Man 3 was that there was too much going on in the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, there were too many villains.
There was two.
there was
There were
three.
three.
Was there three?
Actually, four.
Was there
Wait,
four?
no, hold on.
Sandman,
Sandman, Venom,
Sandman, Venom,
Goblin,
and then Goblin.
Ah,
Wasn't there one more?
Mini Goblin. The Goblin was already dead by that point. His son doesn't
That's
count.
what I mean by Goblin. Yes.
Maybe I'm thinking of No Way Home.
I think you're thinking of No Way Home,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So,
which I haven't seen actually.
there was too much going on in that movie for it to end the way that it did, because with the symbiote, right? The symbiote took over his body, took over his life. He gets rid of it, and Venom becomes the main villain at the end of the movie instead of
Right.
them setting it up.
It's like literally like the last 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
It was literally the last 30 minutes, and then if you don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as a spoiler. Really, it was really a mess when you think about it long term. But I'm gonna give them props to actually making an ending for three villains, from like Sandman going away to Venom and the Goblin actually dying.
But you know what? The reason why that movie it tied up that quickly, that I want to say not loosely, but like it was such a mess at the end, was because of the studio.
Probably.
Sony was trying to bully this guy into a corner.
They wanted him to do a fourth Spider-Man, Sam Raimi.
Right, yes, that's his name. Thank you. But they were trying to he said that they were trying to really bully
Okay.
this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's as a person thing, as a company, I see from both ways. Spider-Man was making them the most money at the time next to their game systems.
Yeah,
So I understand the idea.
I mean,
it's the same thing.
it's still like that today.
Yeah, it's the same thing. To take it to video games, it's the same thing for Smash Brothers. The video game for Nintendo, like that makes a lot of money for them. But the maker of Smash Brothers wanted to stop after the second one. There's 4 Smash
Yeah.
Brothers.
And that's the problem, because like you lose, like if you lose sight of quality and you just pushing out movies, just push out movies. That's why
how-
people disregard Spider-Man 3 the way they do. It was supposed to be like the culmination of like a epic trilogy, and it kind of just like fell flat.
Right.
I understand, but if we're comparing these two movies, well, you two have to decide on this. I'm the tiebreaker.
I mean,
I-
you can decide. It really doesn't matter.
Honestly, my personal
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, my personal opinion. I'd rather watch Spider-Man 3. I enjoyed it. It was a more better movie to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess I'll say the same.
And it was more memorable. Nobody remembers the Hulk.
I remember the
Yeah,
Hulk.
I
I
really
just
don't
thought it was
remember.
nonsense.
No, it's not. People honestly forget about that movie. They forget that there was another Hulk movie because the 2008 version was that much better. But
Yeah.
15 years later, we still talk about Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, for better or worse, we do still
Right,
talk about
better.
Spider-Man 3.
We talk about Spider-Man, but it just had better moments. I will always remember the Spider-Man, aka Toby, just dancing in the middle of the street.
Holy Maguire.
With his-
I mean,
That's
that
it.
honestly, if you had to choose, like aside from like the quality, if you had to choose Spider-Man 3 for anything, it's probably the memes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Straight up.
yeah. Spider-Man 3 has some very good moments in there.
It did. I feel like I like what they did with the suit. They made it look like
Yeah,
his
Black suit was good.
original costume, just black.
The black suit just looked good.
Yeah, it looked really good. I really liked that part of the movie. And then how he just became a dick throughout the rest of the movie. Like even like to the point where he thought he killed Sandman. You know what I mean? Like he intentionally tried to kill this man.
That part I
You know?
did. Yeah, that part I did like the whole
At
them
least
tapping into him being a jerk after
Right.
he got the symbiote.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a
thought-
very good. It was a very good 30-minute sequence. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
It was really
They did a
good.
good job.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
So we going
All
to
right.
Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next.
All right. So next is Spider-Man versus Daredevil.
Oh, easy.
I think this
actually
one is
easy.
kind of it's kind of a given.
Yes, the first Spider-Man movie was
Yeah, I mean that's what started the whole thing. Wait, what came out first?
I think Blade actually came out.
Blade was the
Blade.
first Marvel movie.
Blade was the first Marvel movie, but Spider-Man is what really threw it,
I mean-
threw it into the universe that it's currently calling into.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest,
So,
Yeah.
but
Blade-
interestingly enough,
Blade did a very good job.
The first Spider-Man movie is not without its flaws, though.
It has some flaws.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if you want the
but-
personal opinion of that movie, I kind of feel like that was the best villain of the whole series. Honestly,
Green Goblin.
well, yeah,
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
Just him as an
Even-
actor, just the story made sense for him, and like
Yeah.
how he got there.
He was such a good villain that even all the way up until No Way Home, he was still a great villain.
Yes,
Like,
he
and
was.
they didn't really change much about him.
There's not much you could do. Some performances are just that good. He was that good.
Yeah.
Even when he died, I still didn't believe he was dead. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, this nigga coming back.
Willem Dafoe is an amazing actor.
He
He's
really
very-
is.
But one thing I did not like about that first Spider-Man movie that they actually did with the third movie was that they brought Gwen. They didn't have Gwen Stacy in the first movie,
Right.
but they had it in the third movie. When we all know that Gwen Stacy was before Mary
Was
Jane,
before she was the first one.
right? So
I
don't
wonder
know, that-
why that was. I wonder what was.
I think
the
that was
decision
I think that
behind
was the director's choice. Honestly,
Really.
I think it was Sam Raimi's choice.
I think it was a director's choice because like he was just remember he was picking a timeline, and at that point, I think he when he first made the first Spider-Man, more people knew about Mary Jane than they knew about Gwen Stacy.
At the time, yeah, maybe.
So at a time, I think he was just trying to pick a better, more known love interest. And then when he did Spider-Man 3, and while he was being a jerk, you're like, all right, we have to like put him in a different spot that makes him like fully a jerk. They're like, how can we do this? Make him get another girl.
Honestly,
So,
what they should have done.
And technically, they should have gone Black Cat. Honestly,
I was just about to say
Yes.
that.
They should have went with Black Cat. I agree.
But then that's a whole nother villain. And
yeah,
and I don't think
the
he wanted to
movie
do
was
that.
already.
Well,
and
jam
he
packed.
didn't want. That would have been enough. That would have been the fourth Spider-Man, technically.
I was about to say that. Remember, they were supposed to make a fourth Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But he didn't want to. Yeah, he didn't want to. Because I guarantee if like they would have went like Black Cat, it would have worked out a lot better. But at a certain point, that's a fourth movie, and he didn't want to do a fourth movie.
Well, I just think that he probably would have done it if he was given more time. Because the
Yeah.
thing is that the contract that Sony has with Marvel, and it's still like this to this day, is that in order for them to continue the license, to have the Spider-Man license and IP, they have to make a Spider-Man movie every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Okay.
Yeah, it's every 2 years. And if not, then it goes back to Marvel. So that's why when he was like, I can't do it, they either could have found another director, but that would have taken too long, and the production would have gone out of whack. So they just scrapped it all.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep that money.
Yeah.
I don't think they care now, unless they like reformed it to be like they gotta do a video game every 2 years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, as far as I know, that's how it works out, unless they restructured everything.
I gotta believe that they restructure it, especially with Disney now having most of Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, remember okay. We're kind of getting off topic.
Yeah, I
but
was gonna
anyway.
say. I mean, anything you want to say about Daredevil?
Yeah, well, I actually liked the Daredevil movie also, the original. I did. For what it was at the time, I liked it. It was dark like it was supposed to be, because Daredevil is a dark character. Like, the movie was dark, the tone was dark, the scenes were dark. The fighting Yo, the fighting in that movie was actually pretty damn good.
Oh, the fighting scenes were great.
Yeah, it did have some good fighting scenes.
I
well,
honestly,
he was in the nightclub chasing that guy, the rapist guy.
I was gonna bring up the one when he did. I don't know if it was in the subway. It kind of really got me interested in echolocation because like every time that was also really good too. I thought it really. I think that was like the first movie where I really wanted to learn about special effects.
I did actually find the visualization of his blindness and his abilities. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
And dare I say, they did it better than the Netflix series did, because the Netflix series,
I don't think they ever really did it in the Netflix series.
They addressed it once with I think it was a scene where he brought what's her name back to his house. What's the girl's name? Paige. Ellen. Is her name Ellen?
Not Ellen Page.
What's her name?
Never seen it. So I don't know.
What is her name? But y'all know who I'm talking about.
The blonde girl, right?
Right.
The one that worked with them.
He brought her back to the crib one night, and she was basically like, "Oh, what's it like? How do you see?" Essentially, in a sense. And he explained it to her briefly, it wasn't the way that it was supposed to be. Like how he has a radar sense, or like basically echolocation. Makes a sound, bounces off the walls, the images come back to him.
You were right. It was Page. Is Karen Page?
Karen, right? Karen Page. Where'd I get Ellen Page from?
That's an actor.
That was the act. Well, formerly Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Right, she's Elliot now. But they made it seem like he basically sees, I don't want to say like smoke or scents coming off of people or something like it didn't make sense.
I don't remember. It's really. I actually have an idea of echolocation due to other series I watched. But yeah, pretty much it's kind of like how bats do stuff. Yeah, he'll just he'll tap his cane. He taps his cane around, and then it just projects. It projects an image in his mind about what's going on, like a radar. He gets to see people, like he's able to tell people's height and everything by it and stuff. But it's just the way. But but he can't see faces and anything like that. It's body. It's just like a gray body.
Right. But the movie did it better than the TV show in that respect. Everything else the TV show did better.
Yeah, I did like Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin.
Oh, as Kingpin, yeah.
Even though it seemed a little weird, I thought his performance was pretty good.
Rest in peace to Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, he did make a good Kingpin. And what's his name was a pretty damn good Bullseye too. Colin Farrell.
Oh, I forgot that was him.
Yeah, that was him. You know why you forgot it was him?
Because he was bald.
That, and he actually got to use his Irish accent.
Oh.
Every
he doesn't. Yeah,
he's an American.
He doesn't really use it often.
Right. So, that was one of the first movies that he actually finally got to use his native accent or his regular accent, and he did a pretty good job with it. And then, what's her name? Jennifer Garner did pretty good as Elektra. She was gorgeous, and she fought pretty well. Her fight scenes with Ben Affleck were pretty good. But the movie just it for what it was at the time, it was pretty much. But my main gripe with that movie, like I said earlier, was that they didn't have Stick in it.
Yeah,
he basically trained himself, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But what do I know?
That's neither here nor there.
Right. Next.
So we agree Spider-Man, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 100%. All right. So next one, it's Blade versus Blade Trinity. This one's a little interesting because I've only seen Blade Trinity.
You didn't see the first one?
I never saw the first one or the second one.
Okay, so the first one, in my opinion, was the best Blade movie. This is just my opinion. But the only reason why I went to go see Blade Trinity was because Triple H was in it.
That's the only reason I saw it too.
Right.
And what's his name?
For the worst.
Ryan Reynolds. He was also in Blade Trinity.
Ryan Reynolds wasn't in it, but you tore the worst.
Yo, that's the only reason I went. It wasn't that good of a movie, to be honest. He had one good line, honestly. One good line.
Who?
Homeboy asked Blade. Homeboy asked him, he's like, "Yo, Blade, you ready to die?" And he said, "I was born ready, motherfucker." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, that's how we doing? Okay. But yes, Blade was the kickoff for all these Marvel movies.
Oh, tell you
Yeah.
the truth, I've only ever caught glimpses of the Blade movies on TV because they weren't in the theaters when I was like, they weren't in the
Yeah.
theaters technically.
Yeah, because
For me.
there was one of the first ones, so we would have been too young to see it. I think it came out in like the early 90s.
What, Blade?
Blade.
98.
Alright, late 90s. But
Yeah,
still.
I was 4. There's
Yeah.
no way.
And that was.
But
Blade rated R?
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, it had
It's
to have been
funny.
if you freaking cussed.
And it's funny because this guy, the guy who wrote it, is the same guy who wrote the Dark Knight trilogy movies. He wrote whatchamacallit, Agents of Shield, the Nick Fury movie. He wrote Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
I mean, it's a good writer.
Damn.
David S. Goyer, yeah, he's a pretty good, he's a good screenwriter.
So I'm not gonna, since I kind of got, since I think glimpses of each. I'm more of a fan of the first Blade,
Yes.
based on what I saw. And
I'll say the first Blade too, because like I really don't. I didn't like Trinity that much.
It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good at all. So yeah, we're gonna go with Blade 1.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, cool. Next.
Blade 1. All right. Next is X2, X-Men United versus Fantastic Four.
Ooh. Now this
So I
is
don't.
actually a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember. I don't remember X-Men 2.
I remember seeing that in the theaters with my dad, and I remember one of my friends in school was also there to see it, and it was like I mostly remember us just messing around throughout the movie, just talking to each other because like I don't know, I've never really gone out with friends before, so it's like a positive memory for that movie, but I honestly don't remember much from it.
What, of X2?
Of X2, yeah.
Okay, so that was the movie where where Stryker, they broke in, the Stryker and the mutant catchers from Alcatraz, they stormed the mansion and started kidnapping the kids.
I remember that.
And basically the X-Men are on the run from them, and they try to meet up with what's this guy's name? They that's when they went to this boy's house, met his parents, and then the police pulled up.
Yes, that's the one where they like shot Wolverine in the head, and then he just got up.
Yes,
and looked at the cop that shot him.
Yes, that's exactly what that one was about. And then he fought Lady Deathstrike at the end.
Was that the one when Jane technically dies?
Yes, she died.
It is that one.
Yes.
I thought it was the third one for whatever reason.
No, the third one, she came back to life, but under the Dark Phoenix.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So remember, Stryker was trying to he was trying to build he was using his son to track mutants.
Right. Yes, I remember that now. Okay.
Oh,
it's coming back to me.
Okay, yeah, it's starting to come back.
Where he had like different eye colors.
Yes, his son is a mutant himself who can track
other mutants.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I might be thinking of a different one. I do remember another one they were tracking mutants, but I don't think it was the Stryker.
No, you're probably thinking of Days of Future Past when they had the Sentinels.
Probably.
Big giant robots that can adapt to different powers.
No, there's a lot of random. X-Men had a lot of random movies. I don't know. There's some. I remember one about like a pharaoh being the original mutant. That's another one I'm thinking.
That's
of too.
Shit. What's his name? That was Days of Future Past.
That was also.
I can't remember his name. The one that Oscar Isaac plays.
Yeah. Just part of my brain's like, okay, I only remember this because like he like formed his own team.
He
and
was
it
like the original mutant. Not the original.
Yeah.
Was it original or an ancient mutant? I don't know.
Oh, Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
there
Apocalypse.
you go.
Apocalypse. Yes. No, that was a different movie. You're thinking
That's Days of Future Past. That's the one he was in.
no, he was in Apocalypse.
That was X-Men.
Oh yeah,
Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse. I
Yeah.
forgot.
That's the one I'm thinking of. It's a lot. There's a lot of movies where they just track mutants.
Yeah,
Personally,
he was actually brought back to life. I think when they revised the timeline, he was accidentally brought back into existence. I think that's what that was about. But X2, that one was just about them trying to stop Stryker from basically creating because remember they had the Professor X had that dome in the school where he could find other mutants. Right, the Cerebro from the room, and he brought his son into it to try and kill all the other mutants off.
Yeah.
And they tried to stop him from that.
all right, let's focus. Let's stay focused.
But yeah, that's what X2 was about.
Oh, okay.
So there's that, and now we got Fantastic Four.
I don't remember that movie at all, but I know it was trash because the sequel was trash.
The sequel was trash.
It was
I thought the first one was okay.
Sequel was okay. The first one I enjoyed the first one. It kind of was. It was a slow build, honestly.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, I saw the Fantastic one in the movies. Honestly, it was a very slow build.
Isn't that the one where Chris Evans was originally
yes.
Human Torch?
Johnny
the Human Torch, yeah.
And now I see that's what I'm saying. I don't even remember that because I know him as Captain America.
He was a Human Torch in that one. He was the most annoying part of that first movie.
And Michael Chiklis was the Thing.
He was the Thing
Ben Grimm.
before he was whatchamacallit. Doesn't he play the young Professor X?
Does he?
I could be bugging.
Michael Chiklis.
I could be bugging.
You probably bugging. Why would he play the young? No,
He looks
that's
like him.
He's bald, but he's not. He's not that. He was something else. I do know what you're talking about. This is before he played. He was in another movie as something else, but it was not that. Looks like Vin Diesel to me, though.
Oh, he was in Gotham apparently.
Gotham.
That makes
the
sense.
show.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
But yeah, honestly, the Fantastic Four movies were not really that great.
It weren't. Even the reboot was trash.
Yeah,
I didn't see the reboot, so I had to.
Yeah,
The reboot had this guy, Michael B. Jordan. He was the Human Torch.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Oh,
And they
I know
killed
of it.
him.
I didn't see it. They killed him. Always
I'm
gotta
not-
kill the black man.
They killed him in that movie. And that was part
They
of the
killed him?
outrage. Yeah.
I had no idea.
In fact,
Oh, yeah.
the 2015 reboot for Fantastic Four got the raspberry for worst picture and worst director.
Wow. That
Where's the
bad.
director?
Worst director and worst picture.
Damn.
Isn't that some bullshit?
No.
No, I think that's justified.
No. I mean, like, isn't that not
Oh,
bullshit?
what they did? Yeah.
Yeah. So
It is what
I'm going with X2 on this one.
I don't remember X2, but I feel like seeing the clips. I feel like it's way better than Final Fantasy.
Fantasy.
You've been playing
Sorry.
Final Fantasy?
No, we've been playing Persona on the Switch channel. But no, I'm going X-Men over Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'll go that too.
I'm fine with that.
Next one is X-Men: The Last Stand versus The Punisher.
This one's actually hard. Okay.
Is it?
I want you to know you're gonna have to do this one. I don't remember any of these movies.
Okay. I'm gonna have to break it down for y'all.
You don't have.
I mean, we kind of hinted because I remember The Last Stand was
That's the third one, right? When she dies. No, that's when she comes.
Well,
No, that's when she comes back. So
that's where she comes back.
I do remember parts of it.
She dies, and
we had to kill her.
Scott Summers dies. Cyclops.
She killed Scott in the beginning of the film, which was just insane.
I was pissed because I was a huge Cyclops fan.
Right.
I mean,
she killed Professor X.
That's what.
Oh yeah, but then they revived him at the end.
Right. He transferred his consciousness to I think Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
Was it that? I don't remember.
Yeah, remember he was in a hospital?
I know that. I remember that part. It was like, wasn't that like the post credits?
Yeah, it was a post credit scene. But that's how it happened. He transferred his consciousness to Juggernaut. And in the post credit scene, you see it because the nurse is like Charles or whatever have you.
I think
so she kills.
She kills.
Right. She kills. This is why they made Days of Future Past.
Right.
To retcon all that nonsense that they did in the third film. Wolverine's all happy and going about his life. Like, no, this man's tortured. He's supposed to be on edge all the time. Yeah, yes. Wolverine he's an angry man. What else? What are the dumbness that they did in that movie?
It seems like
they made freaking Rogue lose her powers.
Yes. They did a whole bro, that movie was terrible.
Yeah.
Was it worse than The Punisher?
No.
I can't tell you a damn thing about Punisher. I never saw that.
So that Punisher movie,
that was Mark Wahlberg, right?
No, that was not Mark.
No, it was not.
Didn't he do a Punisher?
Payne. That was
Max
Payne.
Oh, he makes Max Payne. That's what.
Yes, he made Max Payne, which was on the other night. I actually noticed. But
I've never seen that.
So that Punisher movie, first of all, that Punisher movie didn't take place in New York. It took place in Tampa.
The movie?
Okay.
Yes. That Punisher movie took place in Tampa. I don't know why they put it down there when we all know Punisher's from New York. Second, the reason why his family was murdered in the first place was not, it wasn't comically accurate. Okay? The reason why
I know you said comically, but my brain just went to joking and not the comic books. It was like, it's not comically accurate. I was like, technically any killing is not comically accurate. It's not funny at all.
The TV show stayed more true to the story than what you call.
I'm not gonna lie to you, as I'm looking up Punisher, just like to see like clips and stuff, it's only showing me the TV show.
Well, yeah,
and I didn't even know they had 2 seasons of the show. That's all it's showing me.
So, I think what happened was in that movie, he was retiring as a FBI agent or something like that, and he wound up killing one of these mob boss's sons. And
so they go after his family.
Right, at the funeral, the wife was like, "Yo, kill his whole family," and they were on some family vacation down in Tampa, whatever have you, and they just murked everybody. And what was messed up was they shot him in the chest at point blank range, and he lived. They set the boardwalk on fire, blew it up, and he still lived. And I'm just watching this. I'm just like, at the time, this was 2004. So I'm only 11 years old. So I'm like, this is dope. But going back and watching it, I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, no. No. And then I actually read the comic books for Punisher. I'm like, yo, they butchered this thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
it seems like it. Honestly.
Fun fact, the Punisher, or at least the actor, he appears in the ending of Spider-Man 2.
He does.
He does. When Mary Jane's running away from the wedding, and she's like in a park, and they do like a slow pan, and you can see the guy like looking into the camera.
I do remember that, and I honestly thought, I was like, are they going to put the Punish? And I knew that was the actor for the Punisher. I was like, is there going to be a Punisher in Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, I don't know if that was like a plan or what.
Or maybe it's just to show that they were in the same universe. Like, it was just like a little setup thing. Whatever. I do remember seeing that.
Now I gotta go back and watch that because I don't remember that at all.
I do.
Yeah, it's a quick little thing. It's when Mary Jane's running and she's like in the park.
Okay,
Honestly, this bracket not great.
but yeah.
But anyway,
If I had to choose,
I'd say X-Men.
no, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go X-Men.
All right, cool. Next.
I don't know much about that Punisher movie to really comment on. So
It's fine. It's fine.
all right, so now
I don't really care.
next one is X-Men versus Ghost Rider.
The original X-Men.
Yes.
The original X-Men versus the original Ghost Rider.
Now
The Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider?
Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider.
Oh god.
Now maybe I'm just nostalgic and I kind of tend to like Nicolas Cage movies, but I thought it was a good movie.
It wasn't a bad movie, but it definitely was. It was definitely a lot.
Well,
So I'm gonna have to be real with y'all. I actually never saw Ghost Rider.
That's fine.
yeah,
Honestly,
you're not missing much.
it wasn't a lot. It wasn't honestly the best. Honestly, probably the best part of that movie was him when he first turned into Ghost Rider. Other than that, kind of forgettable.
Yeah, it is pretty forgettable. Compared to X-Men.
X-Men, the first movie, which I actually don't. I know I saw it. I don't like remember it in the top of my head anymore, but I do remember it being a really good movie.
It was just basically the origin of the X-Men. Granted, I think they were already like established aside from Wolverine.
Yeah, they were already established as like a thing at that in that movie. Like they were already X-Men.
Yeah, and I think the movie starts out with them recruiting him.
Yeah, he was a cage fighter,
Right.
in Canada.
Yes.
And what's her name? Rogue was on the run, and she came to him for help because she realized he was a mutant. So when what's his name? Sabretooth and somebody else came.
It was Sabretooth, because I think that's when they like it was like the introduction of like the team. It was Sabretooth. I think Toad was in there, and I think Mystique.
I think so. Also, yeah.
Mystique. Yeah, she was in it.
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously the big bad was Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which was funny because they were actually trying to recruit her, to find out, and he's thinking that they were after him.
Right.
But no. But what's his name? They saved him, Scott and Jean. They saved him, and he's all like, "Yo, who the hell are y'all?" type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But considering that movie came out in 2000, that movie had a lot of good special effects.
No, I thought it was great. I felt like Storm. Honestly, that was me seeing Halle Berry as Storm. I was like, "Yo, this is it. I like this."
Yeah, I like her as Storm. She played the part perfectly.
She did.
She was good. I think honestly, Hugh Jackman was great as Wolverine.
You know what? I'm gonna sound a little blasphemous.
You didn't like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
It's not that I didn't like him. He just doesn't have the physique that Wolverine has.
Well, see, that's the thing. Back then, there wasn't really an emphasis on comic accuracy.
True.
So they kind of, and I think at the time he was fresh out of doing Broadway, Hugh Jackman, and that's why if you actually watch, he's like super thin compared to like
what he is now.
The more recent Wolverine.
He definitely bulk ups in his later, especially for like Wolverine Origins, and especially the last one when he dies.
Well, in whatchamacallit, if you look at him in Last Stand, he is jacked. Like,
yeah,
he's
living up to his last name.
Bruh, he was brolic as hell in that movie, and also
that's partly
Days of Future Past.
That's partly why he doesn't want to do it anymore, because it's a lot of physically to.
He has to be physically strong and stuff.
And he's getting older in age. It's harder to maintain that physique. Granted, they have a lot of like VFX and stuff.
I don't think he wants to like do it like that though. I think he really wants to do it. Honestly, because I'm kind of looking back at some of the clips like to rejog my memory. Honestly, Toad was actually I'm seeing this Toad, the actor who was Toad in this first movie.
That was
He was hilarious to me.
what's his name? Oh no, never mind. That was Nightcrawler. I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of Nightcrawler,
Oh,
which I
he
don't
was
actually.
really good in the following two movies. Well,
He
he was
was
in
in
X2, right?
Yeah,
He was in X2.
He was in 2, but he was
Actually,
he's not in the,
I liked
he's
him.
not in the first one.
No, the third one. Was he in the third one?
Was he in the third one?
He was in the third. I think. Ooh,
I
was
don't
he
remember.
dead? I think he was in the third one, just not that much.
But he was a very underrated part of those X-Men movies.
Yeah, he was.
Personally, Nightcrawler himself is very underrated. Love Nightcrawler.
Agreed. We're
But-
obviously going with X-Men on this one.
Yeah. Honestly, so you never seen Ghost Rider, and as me and Jeremy can tell you, it's a very forgettable movie. Honestly, it has its moments.
Like I said, I only liked it because of Nicolas Cage.
If you want to see a good Nicolas Cage movie, the last one I saw of him was really good. It's like Friday Nights at Woolly. I think that's what it's called. That was really good.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we at in the bracket, Jeremy?
The last one.
We're on the last one of round one,
Okay.
which is Blade 2 versus Fantastic Four and the
How long have we
Rise
been
of
doing
the Silver
this?
Surfer.
Oh,
How long have we been recording for this?
an hour.
It's an hour.
Jesus
We're about
Christ!
to make this a two-parter.
I'm fine with that. Jesus, man.
Yeah, we can do the round one. We can just end it after round one for now, and then
I'm not
we'll
gonna-
pick up round two.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. As a personal thing, I don't really remember Blade 2. I fully remember Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Was it bad?
I didn't think it was bad. Silver Surfer. I think the actor who played Silver Surfer was great. Honestly, he really carried the movie to me.
I'm just mad. Was it this movie or was it the reboot where they freaking turned Galactus into a cloud or like a thunderstorm or something like the tornado?
Ooh,
I can't remember.
I think it's the remake because in the Rise of the Silver Surfer, when they can spoiler nonsense whatever. When after a whole thing when he convinces Jessica the girl, what the fuck her name is, the Invisible Girl. I actually don't really remember her name right now.
Sue Storm.
Is it really Storm?
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, what was her name? Was it not?
Oh,
did she not have a name?
Invisible Woman.
Yeah. Because like her and like Silver Surfer had like this interesting this tension, a romantic tension going on the whole movie.
Yeah.
She convinces him like to stop doing the bidding of Galactics, and then the end of the movie, like Silver Surfer goes to face him, and you see his face, like you see Galactus' face. So I have to believe it's the remake.
Okay, so yeah, because I remember a lot of people were pissed off about that, but I couldn't remember if it was this movie or the other one.
I don't remember.
I thought what's his name, Doom, did a pretty good job.
Doom in the first. Yeah,
he was in the first one too, right? He was.
Doom was the main villain of the first one, but he was really good as well in the movies. Doom was actually played very well. It wasn't like I know Jay's probably going to complain about like accuracy, but I think he was good.
You
can't
really take accuracy.
Well, pre-MCU, no.
Yeah.
I can't really complain. Actually, you know what? Batman Begins, I stopped complaining about accuracy now. But after Batman Begins and the Dark Knight trilogy, that's where I'm like, okay, y'all really need to look at the source material because now you have the technology to do it, to make these types of, to be comically accurate. Now you can do it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
I think it was mostly just the audience. They were appealing to a more broader audience.
Yeah.
Which, granted, they're doing now, but that was only after years and years of training people to understand what these characters are and what the source material was and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay, I want you to know, Jeremy, I looked it up. It was the silver. It was Rise of Silver Surfer that
It
they
was?
made him like this.
It
Yeah, that
was.
they
I
made him.
knew it.
I think there's like a little part where you actually get to see like his face and his hands. Like they kind of like make it out, but they couldn't really do it effectively. But it really is mostly just him being a tornado, a giant, a lot of clouds and tornadoes.
I remember like people were very upset about that because they probably couldn't afford to CGI him.
Yeah, I don't think they were able at this time. This is 2007. I don't think at any point in time they might have been able like to do it. Like now they could do it, but they actually do show Galactic in other Marvel movies though.
Well, anyway,
at that time, they would actually it would not come out well.
So
a little while.
What about Blade 2? You guys remember anything about Blade 2?
Do you not? I mean, Jay, I'm trusting in you this one. I didn't really get to see a lot of the Blade movies because they were TV movies when I was remembering.
No, it was a forgettable one. And like I said, after the first Blade movie, the second two were really not as good, not at all.
Yeah.
Like I think in that movie he was I think he was trying to prevent I think one of these women were pregnant with a vampire baby or something. Like one of these, like the whatchamacallit, or was that the first one?
Which the Blade?
Yeah.
There was a vampire lady in the first one. Blade itself was a good one. I remember, but a lot of things are happening in the Blade movie. First one.
I think he was trying to fight these whatchamacallits. These like elite group of vampires that were trying to basically kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Or trying to take over, like trying to kill everybody. I don't really remember much from that one because it was really forgettable. But
I'll take you
I think I'm gonna have to abstain from this one because I don't remember either movie.
Honestly, I'm up to giving this the upset to Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
that's just the one I remember.
That's the one I remember too. As much as people complained about it, I think it's the only one we can choose.
Honestly, it's not going to get much further than the second round.
I was going to say,
yeah. Personally, that's just the one I remember, and I never really got saw Blade. We're probably gonna get attitude about it, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I mean, the first Blade made it through, so.
Okay.
It was Blade versus Blade.
Is it?
It had to make it.
Yeah. At least
it'd
one
been a
Blade
shame if it did.
So, Jeremy, update the bracket for us, please. What's
So
I can tell you it. I can tell you.
Okay.
Just off memory. It's Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second round. Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man versus Blade. X-Men United versus X-Men The Last Stand, and then there's X-Men versus Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh, okay. That's actually gonna be a little easier.
Yeah, I feel like as we get closer to the end, it might be easier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But this is pre the universes and stuff. This is like pre 2009 and 2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we'll wrap it up here then. Jeremy.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
I'll say you gonna answer, nigga, not. Like,
I thought you were gonna say something.
I was. Well, I was waiting for you to answer me.
Just said whatever.
It's nice having you on the show.
It was nice being on the show.
I need a buffer from Tay sometimes. He just
you need a buffer from me? That's ridiculous. I need a buffer from you personally. If we're gonna out of every episode that we done, I feel like I'm the one who needs the buffer from you.
Nah, I just
You are the reason why I rant at the end of the episode. In fact, you about to make me go on another one. I'm not doing this today.
There we go.
You are the reason why I do this. You are the reason why I have problems.
What problems? I listen. I bring nothing but peace and joy to your life.
You
right?
bring bullshit. You
I
bring nothing but bullshit and nonsense. And nonsense.
I've been the best friend that you've ever had the last.
That is a whole lie.
I taught you how to keep the job that you had.
I didn't want it.
A better worker. I've improved your work ethic over the course of our friendship.
That is a full-on lie. You know it.
Just throw it back in my face. You see what I deal with, Jeremy?
I mean, I do listen to the episodes, so I.
Jeremy, the fact that you didn't even like say he was right. You were like, I listened to the episodes. That's enough for me to keep it pushing.
He knows. Listen,
he knows that you're wrong. Either way.
When did you start working with us again?
He didn't have to start working. He literally listened to the first episode.
I'm talking to Jeremy. When did you start working with us?
2017.
Right. So imagine dealing with him for however long you did, plus an extra 6 or 7 months. Just think. Just imagine. I had gray hairs towards the end of 2016 when I first met this nigga.
That has nothing to do with me. That had everything to do with Target.
You or Target?
It's probably Target that probably did that to you.
And in fact, I want you to remember this, because when I did show up to work, you had problems because I wasn't there to do most of the stuff you didn't want to do. So you shush.
You brought on more problems.
I didn't bring on problems. I took care of the ones y'all didn't want to do.
And then you became the problem.
Would you rather deal with the bullshit, or would you rather deal with me?
Well, it was a great episode that we had.
You fucking try to.
Jeremy, you coming back for round 2?
Hell yeah.
He has to.
I have to. Like, I can't just leave y'all. Y'all can figure out the rest.
Yo, you're kind of invested now, so
He has to.
Now the people know what you sound like.
I need him here so I can talk about video games eventually.
Oh, are we gonna do a video game tournament too?
I don't know, but it just makes me happy to have someone that understands video games and doesn't get mad at me for movies. It's just nice.
Not necessarily movies, just the actors. Okay.
It's nice to have someone here not named Jay.
I mean, technically, I'm also a J.
He's a J too. All right, exactly.
No, I meant Jay.
Oh, he's still a J. I don't care. He's still a J. You're the oddball.
I hate calling him Jerm. I hate it.
Well, that's the nickname I came up for him. That's my personal nickname for him. You can come up with your own nickname for him.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
Well, when you get to know him 15 years, then you can come up with a name for him that you feel comfortable with.
That sounds disgusting.
In my world, he's Jerm, right? He used to be Shocky.
Used to be yeah, I was gonna say.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there was a football player named Jeremy Shockey.
You know,
I know. But you just
yeah, I used to call him Shocky just because.
This has been Excuse Me Brother podcast, right? Please listen if you want. Please, if you want to send us anything, you can send us any messages at excusemebrotherpodcast@gmail.com. Please comment. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Excuse Me Brother Podcast. The actually podcast is not on it. It's Excuse Me Brother at YouTube. Comment. I actually do read the comments. I reply to people. I think I replied to the last 2 comments that was on our other video. Try to help us pull
comments in the video.
Yeah, people give comments. We actually have 100% like rate right now from random strangers.
That's what's up.
Yeah, they said they're good people, and actually some people don't like you, but that's a different story. Yeah, but like and subscribe, leave us comments. I do read those. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at excuse_me_brother. On Instagram, DM me. Again, I'm the one that's reading it personally.
Yeah, I refuse to get Instagram.
No one's telling you to at this point. It's your choice. It's your life. You do what you want. Short ass bitch. Either way, thank you.
Wow. Wrap this up. Perfect.